So while the politicians are slugging it out in the electoral battlefield, we are reaching out to traditional businesses of Gujarat that have made it big, that have built these institutions and companies that are globally recognized. And I am sitting here in central Ahmedabad at this beautiful Wagh Bakri tea lounge. And I am with a chaiwala, Mr. Parag Desai. Thank you very much for joining us. To begin with, tell us about this tea that we are having, which is absolutely delicious.
Welcome, Moneycontrol. This tea is Darjeeling tea, which is the champion of teas, and it is grown at the best tea growing areas of the world. It's an area in West Bengal called Darjeeling. It is connoisseured mainly in Japan and Germany.
Wow, so champagne of teas is what we are having, which is only up since we are in a dry state. Uh, it's a 150-year-old brand, Wagh Bakri, and it's seen a very slow and steady growth. You have not gone out to raise funds. Everything has been through internal accruals. Uh, Tell us a little bit more about this whole the main focus of the series is to understand the Gujarati way of doing business.
I don't know about a Gujarati gene, but I can say that my great grandfather came to India along with his family. 27 people sat on a ship from Durban, South Africa, where they used to own tea gardens, and the purpose was to free India from the British. So I come from a family of freedom fighters. India got independence in 47. My father uncles were born during that area, and we believe in the long term theory of quality, consistency, and service to consumers. I believe as a fourth generation entrepreneur, I have learned, and I have been very lucky to learn it from my elders. Also, I have taken a very formal strict education overseas and in India, and I have had the good opportunity of merging both these learnings into leading the company into the next generation. I think one of the things we can claim to be, thankful to our Gujarati genes is we are very much, our eyes sparkle when we look at something that is latest. For example, we were the first company in the late 90s to start our own B2C website called byt.com. And today we have a thriving online business on most e-commerce sites, not only in India but globally. We started exporting immediately post the Manmohan Singh liberalization in the 90s, and today we are a household name in around 60 countries. So anywhere we find an opportunity, we go ourselves. We make relationships with the best available people in that country or that territory, and we build on the relationship. So that, in a nutshell, is the secret of our success.
So, relationships, talent, retention, staying ahead of the curve. Like you said, you see something new, your eyes sparkle, you want to learn everything that there is to learn about it, which are all very, I think, very relevant in today's times also because, it's been in the news and I'm sure you've seen it, you read it. There are a lot of startups that had gone on a hiring spree, had to resort to layoffs. Whereas, with a lot of businesses that I've spoken to, and they're largely in the traditional space, the Wagh Bakri, I think, is while it's in the food and beverage segment, but you've pivoted the model somewhat. You've made drinking tea very cool. It's no longer a roadside thing, which is what chai pe charcha is very it's something that is very much part of our culture, but you have added that zinc to this whole thing. So when it comes to your priorities, your business priorities, your management priorities, could you take us through those? Like, do you prioritize, say for instance, breaking even before expanding? How do you approach a business?
Yeah, so you're very right. One of the things that sets us apart from the startup culture or a lot of other ways of working is that we look at top line and bottom line growth. We get into markets which have high gestation periods. We have a roadmap as to what is the category one, category two, break in even number of years, kind of efforts that get into. We are very hands on, so we are personally involved when it comes to doing a lot of important things, including hiring at the top level, etc. And we as a family believe that we just have to be thankful to the Almighty for blessing us with in a way that we get to ride the India story. India was born in 1947. My father accidentally was also born in 1947, and our growth has been vertical, just as India's growth has been vertical. So I am very proud to have been part of this journey since the 90s. And 90s was the early 90s was when Manmohan Singh he started a new foreign policy. Before that it was like we didn't even have foreign exchange. So I, in very ways, was blessed to see a world where you could see that so many barriers, and now you could see there are almost no barriers. So, for example, the European Union happened. I saw it happening. I saw the entire Europe that was separate earlier, various currencies, various cultures, various languages. Similarly, we see NATO happening. We see a lot of environmental progression happening today in the world around us, and especially in India. So we are very blessed that way to have been part of that journey. And like I tell my daughter, that I am at a generation wherein we have seen the world before Google and YouTube was there.
Right.
And she refuses to believe me. That's another story. But we are very blessed.
She will watch you on YouTube on this one with this interview. You took us through the changes in India that you have seen as you've made as you've been at the forefront of driving Wagh Bakri. Gujarat is going for elections once again. What are your expectations from the government? Because Gujarat, when it comes to industrialization, it's done very well. It's quoted as a model state on a lot of development parameters. But there have been, there are points that could become there are issues that have come up in Gujarat as well. So, what would you like to see the government do, the new government do, in the state?
I believe, Western India, particularly Gujarat, Maharashtra, has now seen development at a new level. Never before in our recent past, we have seen so much development that we have seen in the last 5 years. And I believe whichever government comes, I am more than sure they are going to continue on this path of development. The entire country today is going to be connected, if not yet connected, by wonderful roadways and wonderful trains that run on our railways. So, internationally, when we go and see, I think growth comes only through better connection, better connectivity, better roads, etc. And I believe this story of development is going to be continued irrespective of who the people select as their next team, etc. And overall, Gujarat, if I would say, is a very happy place to be in. I remember a time in the late 90s wherein people refused to move to Gujarat for work because they said that you don't have a proper work life balance. Today, in the last 5-10 years, I have had to say no to a lot of senior people who want to move to Gujarat, but we don't have a vacancy. So people now give a lot of emphasis to quality of life, and that is where on the chart amongst the top 3 to 5 states, you would definitely find Gujarat.
Okay. Getting talent here, driving innovation, those have been the concerns that have been raised by certain businesses. How much of a concern is that for you, for your business?
See, for our business, we don't have any problems in getting talent. Like I said, today senior people want a very nice work-life balance. Innovation comes out of research. We have the best research facilities in Gujarat, and I believe, in a way, Gujarat is also very well connected with the overseas markets through the airports, and Ahmedabad Airport, for example, Surat Airport is very well connected to the Middle East. So all the NRIs who live out of India, they find it very easy to come to Gujarat. Also, the road network today, the Delhi Mumbai corridor, which passes right through Gujarat, is being wonderfully built and with precision and speed. The quality is also excellent. So, I believe today it's in a sweet spot, and going ahead also because of its importance and the western coast that we have. Gujarat, you must remember, we are surrounded by three sides by water,
Right.
and it's very convenient for anyone who is doing exports, trade, commerce, imports, and that's where our ports, they are also doing a fascinating work. So I believe it's a big thumbs up for Gujarat for the next 10 years at least.
In terms of ease of doing business, compliances, is that something that, and we also have the budget coming up, is that something that you would like to talk about, or is that something that's a concern? And in terms of your expectations from the budget, what would you like to see the finance minister do?
I would say with digitization, ease of doing business is improving every day as we speak. Today, India is one of the most compliant countries in the world, and I say this after a lot of knowledge about what's happening in the world, and mostly everything is digitized. So I believe that we are on the right track. It will take time for even government to settle in, even people to settle in, because people have not been used to this way of working. In terms of the budget, I think the entire industry is thankful to the Modi government for bringing down the tax rates. Now we are around 25%. So India is already one of the most lowest tax countries in the world. And in terms of expectations for budget, I expect nothing, but let's move on the path that we have decided, so that the industry gets to know what's happening ahead. In the earlier times, every budget was a different path, but I think now in the last 3 to 4 years there is a straight line path, and we as CII, Gujarat Chamber, etc. We engage with the finance ministry, and we are very happy at the quality of engagement that is happening with the entire team. So I don't see any surprises in the budget. At the same time, I don't see any massive, announcements in the budget. So it should be life as usual routine.
Okay. Um, to come to your management principle, what is your management style? And when it comes to, say, talent acquisition, or just general day-to-day running of the business, what do you tend to generally go for, and what is your business philosophy?
See, my management style is complete empowerment. Number two, I hardly operate out of office hours, and we as a family are also very hands-on. So anywhere where you make a new relationship, we have a major deviation from the routine business. That's where I come in, and I want to meet the key people on which we are doing this new beginnings, because we believe in the theory of relationships. We don't do anything for the short term. And when it comes to our people, they are aware about what is the Wagh Bakri way. So everyone's very focused. Everyone's sure that we believe in quality when it comes to offering to consumers. We believe in quality when it comes to connecting with various marketplaces. There are various omni channels. So we have a very consistent approach. So we are not ad hoc. At the same time, we are very careful when we recruit people. So we have a process through which only if the top management is convinced, then we get into things like additional recruitments, etc. So we are one big happy family, and we want to remain like that. Yes, there are challenges for the tea industry, challenges which are related to environment, challenges related to uh, demand, etc. But they come and go at a long term basis. I think these are all short term things.
What's next for Wagh Bakri? How many more tea lounges, new products?
Yeah, definitely tea lounges are part of major thing that is what's next at Wagh Bakri. And North India already has a lot of tea lounges, and we are expanding more and more. And today, I think the way India is going, we have a strong story of consumption. So if you see how many people are now traveling by railways versus earlier, you will be amazed. All my IRCTC trains, all my private trains, Tejas Expresses, they charge a premium, and yet they are going full and full. And we are one of their preferred vendors to supply good tea and coffee over there. Similarly, on the airlines, the way the aviation sector is emerging, the government is encouraging smaller cities to have their own airports, connectivities, etc. So this will engage a lot of consumption related demand, which we believe is going to be the theme for the next year.
Okay, so can you give me a number on the number of lounges that we'll see getting added in the next 1 year?
I think in the next 1 year, we could easily double our current count. Our current count is we have around 15 large format launches and another 50 small format launches. That could easily double. We have a separate team which is working on it. We who are on the verge of a major expansion before COVID. So we have done all our homework, we understand the business, and I believe today people are eating and drinking more and more outside, especially in the metro cities, and they people are giving a lot of emphasis on the quality of food and drink that they are consuming. There was a time not very long back people were very savings oriented. Now people are still saving oriented, but when it comes to food and drink, they want the best and nothing but the best.
So you do have competition also emerging from startups. So do you plan to expand your product offering as well? Do you want to make it into like a destination for your chai, all your chai needs, for instance?
Yeah, definitely. So, as we study competition, as we study opportunities, we continue to make it a destination where people come and they really enjoy. But at the same time, the main business has been competing with like 250 brands of teas in India alone. So we are very used to competition. We are very used to a lot of comparisons, etc. But we know that, once we have decided and once we are on a path, then we are not going to deviate much. And we constantly look out for best practices, best opportunities, best people, and that's where I think we have a fair chance of success against all the startups that you have mentioned. See, startup community, I was the guy who launched iHub in IIM Ahmedabad, and I understand that business because I continue to mentor a lot of businesses, a lot of people, and these people are under serious pressure when it comes to things like valuations, etc. Which fortunately people like us who are not concerned about valuations but are concerned more about business progression, investments in business, like you said, break evens, etc. So we take our time.
Thank you very much. And I really enjoyed this Chai Pe Charcha. We hope to see many more lounges. And yes, tea is far more healthier than coffee, also. So,
Thanks for coming, and once again, thank you to all your money control users. You guys are doing a fab job.
thank you very much. Thank you.